New our ESPN Rank'em series and tell you where the biggest NBA free agents will land. Keyshawn, J. Willem X, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Macklemore here, repping my hometown of Seattle. MLB's greatest sluggers in baseball, SummerSlam, are coming to the Emerald City. Give us the bombs, the big fly, the no doubters, the blacks. Give us the derby.
What a night.
The T-Mobile Home Run Derby, Monday, July 10th at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I'll bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily, Patrick McEnroe joins the show to help us preview Wimbledon and to tell us whether anyone can beat Novak Djokovic. So follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Now on SportsCenter all night. James Harden is on the move yet again.
What it means is that James Harden has likely played his last game in Philadelphia less than 2 years after forcing his way to the Sixers in a trade from Brooklyn.
NFL hands down punishments for gambling.
The majority of the wagers made by Rodgers were in the $25 to $50 range. He increases that by 20 times for a bet on his own team's running back.
It's getting late early for the Padres.
Here's the 0-1. Swinging a ball, hit to right, falling fast, sticks it over, can't get a base hit. Henry Davis comes through with the RBI single to give the Pirates the lead.
Plus, we find out who's heading to the Midsummer Classic.
Trout, Judge, Arozarena. Talk about incredible company.
This is SportsCenter all night.
Bet in the stadium, we don't care. Bet on your phone. Bet in the bathroom. Bet.
Here's Jim Basquill.
Bet it. The Mets are a mess. The NFL puts the hammer down on their players who bet on their games. Welcome to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Plenty ahead in the show, including two teams that had big expectations, both struggling mightily, and they hail from both coasts. But we begin from the association as NBA free agency is here. So is trade season.
The most prominent team out there right now is the Los Angeles Clippers. But the Sixers want to get some value back for James Harden. New York's another team that I think is going to look at this.
I think it's an abject nightmare if the Knicks try to go and get James Harden.
So James Harden picked up his near $36 million option for next season, but as a prelude to a potential trade, as Woj reports, the Sixers have made calls on the Beard right after he locked in that salary for next season. Harden could have declined the option, tested free agency, but much like Kyrie Irving last year, opted in because that kind of money wasn't going to be out there for him on the open market. What does this mean, opting in for a Harden? Here's Woj.
What it means is that James Harden has likely played his last game in Philadelphia less than 2 years after forcing his way to the Sixers in a trade from Brooklyn. $35.5 million he opts into. And now he's available to be traded. And the Sixers have already started to talk to teams around the league about a James Harden deal. But this was essentially James Harden looking out into free agency if he had declined that player option and not seeing perhaps the kind of long-term commitment he wanted from the Sixers or perhaps another team. Houston had been a team where there had been a mutual interest, and the Rockets have over $60 million in cap space. But their focus has been elsewhere in free agency. And I think for James Harden, his best chance to be on a contending team this year was to opt in and find a trade
Yeah, Harden can teach a master's class in forcing trades. The Sixers had the right to offer him a $210 million 4-year deal. Clearly had no interest at that number. The Clippers and Knicks are among the teams expected to have interest in acquiring the 10-time All-Star. Brian Windhorst and Bobby Marks on the team that appears to be the fit for the beard.
Los Angeles got a lot of expiring contracts. Remember, a player going into the last year of his contract in Harden is not extension eligible, will be 35 years old next year in the off season. So when you look at Harden here, if I am the Sixers, I want to add PJ Tucker to the deal. He's got 2 more years left on his contract, and now it's all about getting within that 125%. So when you look at Marcus Morris is on an expiring contract, Robert Covington is on an expiring contract, and Nick Batum is on an expiring contract, and we're going to add a 2028 first to this, and you look at it, that works. It's not the right value, especially for a player like James Harden, but under the circumstances, a player on an expiring contract, you at least get a first-round pick back in the deal.
And the first domino here, guys, was last night when the Los Angeles Clippers released Eric Gordon to knock $21 million off their payroll. And I got to say, the LA Clippers don't do things to save money unless something else is going on. And as soon as that happened, the wheels started moving. And that is what has brought us here, because I think the negotiations with Harden and the Sixers weren't going well. The Clippers were aware of it, and they are, by getting Gordon off their books, they make their situation cleaner to set up for a possible trade with the Sixers and James Harden. And watch out for the LA Clippers creating a new big three with James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, figuring out how that might go.
Not sure that would be a great trio, but we'll see how it plays out. As the season wound down, there were rumors that the Rockets would be interested in a Harden reunion, perhaps brought on by the point guard himself to create leverage against the Sixers, as Frank Isola couldn't make sense of the beard going back to H-Town. He joined KJ Maxx.
I don't understand what Houston's attraction to him would be. I don't get it, because, it's mostly a young team. I don't think Harden is a bad guy, but I would think a guy like Chris Paul fits in better with Houston than James Harden does. And Philadelphia's right there. Let's face it, guys. If you go back to the final 4 minutes of Game 6, the game was right there for them. The series was right there for them. And both Harden, especially Joel Embiid, just didn't do enough in the last 4 minutes. Tatum takes over the game. And then in Game 7, they completely fall apart. Last year could have been their year very easy. They could have beaten Miami. So I think they're close, especially in the Eastern Conference, which I still think is unpredictable. I think the best place for him is Philadelphia.
And no question about it. They were right there, but their stars have to play big, and they played awfully small in Game 7 against Boston. Free agency comes tonight with players like Chris Middleton and Draymond Green testing the market as teams now have to navigate the new rules of the collective bargaining agreement, which goes into effect on Saturday. Ramona Shelburne on what the market looks like for Kyrie Irving.
There's not a lot of teams that are in position to make a realistic run at Kyrie Irving. He's a wildly talented player. I mean, when you go around the NBA and you ask people who's the most skilled player in the NBA, like, his name comes up a lot because he is that good. And there's a lot of teams and players who would like to play with him, who are interested in his ability, who are, they have this idea of, like, should we take a gamble on that? Like, should we go down that road? Like, that is a hypothetical that comes up a lot in NBA circles.
Stay away. Irving is trying to drum up some interest, hoping to tank another team with a star-studded lineup. The Suns just don't have the money, right? He and Harden are learning their market is not exactly robust. Windy with KJ Maxx.
Almost every player doesn't have a market. What I mean by that is very few players have multiple bidders. James Harden, maybe Houston. Yesterday, the Bulls did a deal with Nikola Vucevic, 3 years and $60 million, all guaranteed. Why? Who's offering him that? The teams that have salary cap space, Detroit, Orlando, San Antonio, Indiana, these teams aren't really in the market for, they're not bidding for James Harden. We don't have a marriage of players getting multiple offers. Like, the guys who are going to get multiple offers are guys like Cam Johnson. Yep. Like, it's not like it's been in years past where a star has had 3 choices where you can go, and it's really interesting.
the environment is not set up for bidding wars.
And Cam Johnson is restricted, by the way. This is a good time of year, moving and shaking in the association. Plenty of conversation this morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Tim Bontemps joins the show at 7:15 Eastern. Bobby Marks follows at 8:15. And then 1 hour later, Tim McMahon talking NBA free agency and perhaps deals in the association. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquill. The NFL has suspended 3 players indefinitely for violating the league's gambling policy and a 4th sidelined for 6 games. Isaiah Rodgers, Rashad Berry of the Colts, along with free agent Demetrius Taylor, received indefinite suspensions through at least this season for betting on games in 2022. The Colts have waived Rodgers and Berry. They won't be able to seek reinstatement until the 23 season ends. Titans tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere, he also suspended for the first 6 games of the 23 campaign for betting on non-NFL sports at the team facility. Joe Fortenbaugh on Fitz and Harry.
This is a bad look, a real bad look, because I want you to understand that according to this article, the majority of the wagers made by Rodgers were in the $25 to $50 range.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his standard bet size, $25 to $50. He increases that by 20 times for a bet on his own team's running back over under rushing yards. Now, unfortunately, we aren't sure if he bet the under or the over.
Right.
If he's betting the under, it means he's betting against the player. That could mean inside information when it comes to an injury or to the scheme, personnel, however they're going to deploy it. But it's a horrible look, and the bet did, in fact, win.
Chris Mad Dog Russo on the hypocrisy of gambling and the NFL.
It's all sports. It's not just the NFL, but here, this is the last suspension. It drives me crazy. If you're going to support gambling, which the NFL does, they support it wholeheartedly. They got both hands out for every nickel from these places and houses, every nickel. And they can share it amongst the owners. Oh, they love it. And they all have a big party at the end of the year on your dime. Because you lost. And the NFL can laugh all the way to the bank. Yet if one of their players bets $20, he's suspended for a year. If you don't see something hypocritical in that, I'm not too sure who you are. Practice what you preach. Practice what you preach, Raj. And you don't need the money. What, you got about $9 billion a year coming to you from television? From Amazon and ESPN and NBC and Fox and CBS? $9 billion just from TV alone, for crying out loud. TV alone, before you sell a ticket. But here it is. We're going to make sure that our guys get suspended for years and are out of the NFL. But you go out there, you support our team. Bet in the stadium. We don't care. Bet on your phone. Bet in the bathroom. Bet in the parking lot. Bet.
I like the for crying out loud. That's a phrase I toss around from time to time, right? The league also suspended Jacksonville Jaguars left tackle Cam Robinson for the first 4 games of the regular season in violation of the league policy on performance-enhancing drugs. He'll lose roughly $900,000 a game. He's the highest paid player on the Jags roster. More NFL talk with Sam Acho joining Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max this morning at 7:30 Eastern. To baseball for the Mets. It's a record $355 million payroll, tied to a team that has been a colossal failure this season. Thursday, the latest example, 9th inning down to their final out, down a run with the bases juiced.
And Williams coming back. Struck him out swinging with a changeup, and the ball game is over. 3-2 the final score, and the Brewers have taken 3 of 4 from the Mets. Devin Williams loaded the bases and got out of it.
That's 620 WTMJ as Devin Williams fan Starling Marte to strand those bases loaded. Brewers hung on 3-2 over New York, dropping the Mets to a season high 9 games under 500 at the official halfway point of the season. 81 games in, the Mets 36-45 have lost 18 of their last 24. New York hasn't won a series since June 1st. Max Scherzer and his skipper Buck Showalter on a team that just can't figure it out.
Starling's got a lot of want to. It's not just him. A lot of plays. It's frustrating because, there's a game there to be won. Max pitched well. Got some good things done out of the bullpen to keep it close. Had a couple of ground ball one swinging bunt and some things, and we hit some balls hard that they caught. It's just... we're kind of snake bit from that standpoint, seems like. But, keep hoping the worm's going to change some with, it's not just pure luck. Don't get me going. It's just
play better. Hitters need to hit, pitchers need to pitch, fielders need to field, run the bases well. That's how you win ball games.
I guess that sums it up right there for Max Scherzer. That other team that's struggling to figure it out is from the other coast.
Here's the 0-1. Swinging a ball, hit to right, falling fast, sticks it over, can't get a base hit. Henry Davis comes through with the RBI single to give the Pirates the lead, 5-4.
And that's Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Henry Davis capped his first 3-hit game of his young career with the go-ahead single in a 3-run seventh. Pittsburgh rallies to sweep the Padres 5-4, extending San Diego's losing streak to 5. The Pods have lost 8 of 10, dropping 7 under 500. Just one game better than the Mets, by the way, at 37-44. Coming up, more from the majors. A day after Domingo Germán tossed a perfecto, there was another flirtation with a no-hitter, and Shohei muscles up. But is it enough to get the Angels a win? That's on deck. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, will Kyrie Irving stay in Dallas? Could Draymond Green leave the Warriors? I'll tell you where the biggest free agents will land. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
Carl's Jr. is warning you. The El Diablo burger is back and blazing with flavor with charbroiled beef, bacon, jalapenos, pepper jack, and fiery habanero sauce. The kind of heat that makes grown men sweat. Your mouth will be on fire. Your mouth will cry. Just tell your mouth, El Diablo made you do it. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 in the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
Summer is here. The only thing that should be hot are the offers from Renewal by Andersen. Without energy-efficient windows, do you realize that you're losing AC even with your windows totally closed? Renewal by Andersen's summer sale is going on now with buy one, get one 40% off, plus $35 off each window, $50 off each door, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. Call 702-816-5887. License number 0082260005696.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number. The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99. Plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
This far into rush hour traffic, most people would have rage accelerated at least once. But not you, Lacey No Hard Accelerations Ever Johnson. because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So if your hula dancing dashboard doll thinks you're going to hard accelerate because you're running late, then your hula dancing dashboard doll doesn't know. Lacy, no hard accelerations ever Johnson. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
You can win cool prizes like festival tickets, merch, and experiences all summer long with Coke Studio. Drink, scan, and enjoy for your chance to win. No purchase necessary. 13 plus 50 USDC ends 8/31. Rollofcoke.com/Coke Studio. USA. Copyright 2023. The Coca-Cola Company.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your...
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquill.
Swing and a miss. 20 up and 20 down for Domingo Germán.
But I didn't really start feeling really nervous till the ninth.
And Germán, the righty, deals to the plate.
Grounded to third. Donaldson has it. There it is. Perfection for Domingo Germán.
It was just so fun to watch him do that and go to work.
Just being here, being able to witness this night tonight, it's always cool to witness sports.
No question about it. No repeat perfection, though, for the Yankees as Clark Schmidt gave up a hit to the first batter he faced on Thursday. But he did win for the first time since May 19th because the Yankees, again, put up double-digit runs.
The 1-2. Stanton lines that to right field. Indeed, that ball is over the head of Capel, up against the wall. 1 run scores. Torres scores. Stopping at third is Rizzo. It's a resounding 2-run double for Giancarlo Stanton, and the Yankees pouring it on with 6 runs in this 6th inning. It's an 8-3 game.
As heard on the YES Network, a day after Domingo Germán pitched the 4th perfect game in franchise history, the Yankees rallied with 7 hits in the 6th, overcoming a 3-1 deficit and winning their 3rd straight series. They scored 21 runs last 2 days, totaling 21 in the previous 9 before that. At 21 and 62, the A's are on pace to finish 41 and 121. That would be the most losses since the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. The Red Sox almost had a special mound performance.
No runs, no hits for Miami. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for Boston. Bounding ball up the middle. Diving stop by Hernandez from his knees. The throw, no chance to the home plate side of the first base bag. Great effort by Kike. Did well just to stop it, but had to throw from his knees and didn't get anything on it. And many of the fans now on their feet saluting Bayo. Took a no-hitter into the 8th inning and lost it on the 2nd pitch of the 8th on an infield single by Segura.
That's 93.7 FM WEI. Right-hander Brian Bayo didn't allow Miami hit until that Gene Segura knock in the 8th inning. It wound up leading to a run in the 8th, followed by insurance in the 9th. Marlins hand Boston their 5th straight loss. And that's a 2-0 final. Bayo held the fish hitless through 7. Luis Arraez saw his batting average drop to .392.
Graveman's 2-strike pitch. Shohei swings at that one and lifts a high fly ball. That's deep, and that's going to go in left center. He just hit one out. His 4th home run in this series. That one goes the opposite way out by the rocks out there in left center, and it's not over yet. Angels trail 9-7.
And that was your final, though, as the Angels fall. Angels Radio AM 830, Shohei Ohtani, a record for the franchise. 14th home run in the month of June wasn't enough. Ohtani leads the Bigs with 29 home runs, batting .309. Mike Trout added 3 hits, a leaping catch in center field in the 4th to rob Andrew Vaughn of a solo shot, but the Angels still came up short.
The 2-2. Swinging a high fly ball out to deep left field. Peterson back at the wall. Goodbye! He was nodding earlier. He just missed one, and then he got one. A go-ahead two-run homer.
As Sportsnet 590, the Fan, Vlad Jr., two-run swat. Chris Bassett struck out a career-high 12 over 6 shutout frames. Blue Jays over the Giants 2-1. Guerrero said he will take part in the July 10th home run derby at Seattle's T-Mobile Park.
King, the lefty, works third base side. Checks the runner, McKinstry. The 2-2 is swing a line drive down the left field line. Hooking deep and gone! Spencer Torkelson, 3-run home run to break this game open in the 8th. 2 home runs today. Number 11. And the Tigers take an 8-3 lead in the 8th.
Yeah, for the first time in his career, 97 won the ticket. Torkelson going yard a pair of times. Detroit over Texas 8-5. So can Houston gain ground?
The 2-1. And Bregman hits it well. It hits it deep to left field. Walker is going back, looking up. Grand slam for Alex Bregman. Hits it off the facade of the second deck. And the Astros lead it 14-0.
That's KBME 790 AM. Kyle Tucker, a homer, drove in 5 runs. That was Alex Bregman hitting his 3rd grand slam of the season. Astros blew out Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals 14-0. 18 hits, most since September 10th of 2019 against Oakland.
2-2 to Josh Lowe. Swinging a line drive at a center, dropping quickly. It'll fall, base hit. Scoring from third, Raley. Rounding third, coming home, Ramirez to throw. Not in time. It's a 5-run inning for the Rays here in the 3rd, and still nobody out. They lead at 6-0 on the 2-run single to center by Josh Lowe.
That's 620 WDAE. Josh Lowe drove in 2 runs and a 5-run third. Luke Raley went yard. Tampa Bay beating Arizona 6-1. The Rays lead the Bigs at 56-28. Arizona tops in the NL West at 48-34. Jose Ramirez stole a home for the go-ahead run in the 10th, but Kansas City rebounded bottom half. Freddie Fermin's 2-run double was your game winner. KC passed Cleveland 4-3. Meantime, the Phils got off to a fast start.
33-year-old right-hander out of Dartmouth delivers his first pitch, and it swung on and blasted right field corner, and this ball is going to be gone. It clears, and it's a leadoff homer for Schwarber on the first pitch of the night. His 21st of the year, a bullet. And it's 1-0 Phillies.
That's Sportsnet, Sports Radio 94 WIP, and it comes in a 3-1 win over the Cubs. Coming up, NBA free agency comes tonight. We have the latest comings and goings from the association. That's next. This is ESPN Radio.
Greeny. It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time. One of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
When you download the Smiths app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Smiths app now to save big. Smiths, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smiths, fresh for everyone.
Hey there, firecracker. Want to light up this 4th of July with a flawless tan? Palm Beach Tan is here for it. Now through July 5th, virtually everything is on sale. $1 sunbed tans, 2-pack spray tan specials. Join for only $5. Plus 25% off skincare, including Australian Gold. Glow up before you show up to all the 4th of July parties. Palm Beach Tan. Embody your true colors.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Smith's, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway,
inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
Macy's 4th of July sale has great deals on everything you need to get you, your crew, and your space ready. Get 50 to 60% off swimwear for all and 30 to 60% off bedding and bath essentials. Plus, take 40 to 50% off almost all sandals now during the great sandals sale. Macy's Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster during Star Money bonus days. See Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Don't miss July 4th savings now at Lowe's. Save up to an additional $1,000 on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, save up to $3,800 on select 4-piece Samsung kitchen suites. And save on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit or impact driver kit. Just $99 each for a limited time. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/5. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
I started shopping for weekly groceries through Instacart because with young kids, my week is pretty packed. There's Taekwondo, tap lessons, and endless birthday parties. But with Instacart, I can get groceries and weekly essentials delivered in as fast as an hour, which gives me time back. Wait, wasn't it this kid's birthday last month? Visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
I'm a sushi chef. I also happen to be a cat. How'd I get?
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter all night.
Again, our top stories: James Harden opts in, but is it ahead of being traded? NBA free agency is here. What's the market for A-list free agents? The Mets' free fall continues, as does the Padres. Yankees follow last night's perfecto with a 10-spot of runs, while Shohei goes yard, but in defeat.
Adrian Wojnarowski reports 76ers guard James Harden opts into his contract for next season.
What it means is that James Harden has likely played his last game in Philadelphia less than 2 years after forcing his way to the Sixers in a trade from Brooklyn.
So he's bypassing free agency, and he's going to try to force a trade. And few people in NBA history have more experience in forcing trades than James Harden. So here we go.
Yeah, well said, Wendy. James Harden picked up his near $36 million option for next season as a prelude to a Sixers trade for the Beard. Harden could have declined the option and tested free agency, but there was no market. Woj on potential trade partners with the 10-time All-Star.
The most prominent team out there with James Harden right now is the Los Angeles Clippers. They have been on the search for a point guard to lead that group. I think certainly there's a real opportunity for them to bring Russell Westbrook back in free agency. He was outstanding for them last year, but certainly Harden would bring a different dimension. They brought in John Wall last year in free agency. It didn't work out. What's the pathway to a deal there? I think there's a Clippers team that is not going to be interested in trading any of its good young players. Is there a deal with expiring contracts with a future draft pick? But the Sixers, I want to get some value back for James Harden. New York's another team that I think is going to look at this. They've got a lot of assets. If perhaps they didn't have to give up much to get Harden, that's a tougher trade for Philly, putting him in their own division. There's going to be other teams interested in Harden, but Daryl Morey is in a window here where he's trying to win a championship around Joel Embiid. I'm not sure how quickly this is going to go.
You heard Woj touch on New York, that being the Knicks. Bobby Marks doesn't see a return to the Big Apple for the Beard.
It's hard because when you look at who on the Knicks are you willing to give up? I'm not giving up Jalen Brunson. I'm not moving Julius Randle. I'm going to put Evan Fournier in a deal. Josh Hart just opting in. I don't think about RJ Barrett, Isaiah Hartenstein. It's hard to get the numbers there with that. And that's why I have a hard time thinking a Knicks deal would make sense for Harden unless a player like RJ Barrett's involved. And for me, I'm not doing that.
That takes us back to L.A. Chris Carlin on both Tinseltown franchises.
The Clippers, I totally get it, and that would make sense. Frankly, the Lakers would make a lot of sense for James Harden right now. I think that's the best case scenario for Harden, but I don't think they're going to be in the mix on it. Steve Ballmer's going to spend all the money. He's going to do whatever he has to do to try to make it happen, and he has to because with the injuries over the years with Paul George and with Kawhi Leonard, you need to have somebody like that. And I do think that Harden can still be a number 3, a really good number 3, a championship team number 3 if those first 2 players are still of a very high caliber.
Ramona Shelburne is in L.A., but doesn't see it. Is there a chance the Sixers don't find a deal and keep him one more season?
I think James is going back to Philly. You know, I think the idea of him going to Houston was out there for a long time, but everything points towards a return to Philly. The only question is how many years and how much money, right? Like, what does that look like? And if it doesn't look good, does he try to take meetings himself, create some more leverage, et cetera? But it just everything indication wise, probably just goes back to Philly. It's an interesting question for the Sixers as well, though, because they have to figure out, well, if we bring James back and at what number, what else can we put around that roster?
The market for Kyrie Irving, legitimate places, it's extremely limited, perhaps almost nil.
Do I think there are NBA contenders out there that would give Kyrie Irving the bag that he would want? No, I think Dallas is the one team.
What's the max numbers that Kyrie can get? What's this contract we're talking about?
I believe he can get up to $50 million.
How many years? That's the question. And how many teams? Seems that number has dwindled to 1. Woj on SportsCenter.
Kyrie Irving is trying to create a market out there, and it may just not be there for him. Certainly Dallas, I think, is going to try to show some restraint, some discipline in what they're willing to offer Kyrie Irving with an extension, a new deal in Dallas. It's going to be more than anybody else can offer him. And I think he's going to try to spend some time here trying to, again, manufacture a marketplace of salary cap space and teams that might actually scare Dallas into thinking they have to up their offer. I'm not sure that's happening. That'll be an interesting process as it plays out. I still think Kyrie Irving inevitably will return back to Dallas on a deal there to play with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, it was a bad deal for the Mavs. The record says so. 7-25 down the stretch from 4th place in the Western Conference to out of the play-in altogether, all coinciding with the arrival of Kyrie Irving. But Mark Cuban is willing to double down on that bad gamble, and that is the franchise crusher he is. The only real option for them is Big D in a reunion, says Jay Williams.
Do I think there are NBA contenders out there that would give Kyrie Irving the bag that he would want? No, I think Dallas is the one team. I think Dallas will inevitably be the home for a guy like Kyrie Irving. I think that's where he can max out dollar-wise, and he can still put the right pieces potentially around him to help them get there.
Yeah, Kyrie once played with KD, torpedoed that Nets franchise. Now Bradley Beal plays with Durant in the desert. Beal, introduced by his new team, the Suns, asked what it would be like to play alongside both Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and now not have to be the main focus as opposing defenses has always been on him in Washington. He also had this on now being in the spotlight all the time.
It's huge. I think one of the biggest things we take for granted as players is,
who's around you, the players around you and what they bring to the table every single day. And it's not easy to win in this league, and I think that's what a lot of people get kind of misconstrued. No matter how much talent you have, you still have to make it work. You have to still put in the work and go get the job done. But I'm super ecstatic that every single day I have a chance to play in a meaningful game. I think that's one of the biggest, decisions that impacted me of coming here, of knowing that every single night I'm going to be in an important game. Every single night I may have a chance of being on television. Every single night, teams are going to give us their best. So I look forward to that challenge. And also being in a position to where we're kind of a targeted team, so every single night I got to lace them up.
He wasn't the only newcomer introduced to his new digs on Thursday. Kristaps Porzingis introduced by the Celtics. Don't forget, Boston needed him to opt in order for their 3-team deal to go down. Porzingis says that was an easy decision.
The opportunity to play for a really good team already and to be able to add to that and hopefully to help these guys make their life even easier. And just being on a high-level organization like Boston, historic franchise, iconic franchise, made it extremely easy for me to make that decision.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes, by the way, staying with the Sacramento Kings, agreeing to a 3-year, $54 million contract. He'll be entering his 6th year with the Kings. Went to the playoffs this past season for the first time since 2006. The deal was struck one day before the start of free agency in the league. Woj on free agency in the association, saying the market for the big name players just might not be there.
There's fewer and fewer high-level players who've gone into free agency the last few years and who are going to be going into free agency. I think the belief around the league is you sign that max extension where you are, you fix the destination later. You give up money by going into free agency. You take less money by not re-upping where you are. And it's essentially an NBA version of the transfer portal. When I decide I'm done, you're going to trade me. And listen, for teams who are going to lose a star, it beats what happened to Oklahoma City with Kevin Durant, where they didn't get anything for him. You do get a chance to get young players, draft picks. But I think you're going to continue to see free agency periods that lack star power, but the deals are going to be in the trades because more and more star players, when it's not going well, they're going to look to move on, and we're in more of a trade mode.
And they're talking NBA free agency, comings and goings around the league. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max this morning with Joe Fortenbaugh and Courtney Cronin in the seat. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Tim Bontemps, ESPN NBA writer, joins the show at 7:15 Eastern. 1 hour later at 8:15, it's ESPN front office insider Bobby Marks, and he is followed by Tim McMahon, ESPN NBA writer, at 9:15 Eastern. At the 15s, you got the NBA, so keep it locked right here on ESPN Radio. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquel. The NFL has suspended 3 players indefinitely for violation of the league's gambling policy and a 4th sidelined for 6 games. The details with this SC report.
Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry of the Indianapolis Colts and free agent Demetrius Taylor will miss at least the entire 2023 NFL season for betting last season on NFL games, according to an NFL statement released Thursday. The news prompted the Colts to then waive both Rodgers and Berry. The integrity of the game is of the utmost importance, Colts general manager Chris Ballard said in a statement, adding, as an organization, we will continue to educate our players, coaches, and staff on the policies in place and the significant consequences that may occur with violations. Tennessee Titans offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere will also be suspended for the team's first 6 regular season games for betting on non-NFL sports at a club facility. Since 2018, 11 players, at least 1 assistant coach, and an undisclosed number of league personnel have been suspended for violating the league's gambling policy, a reality that's made coaches aware that no amount of education is enough.
It's much more an emphasis from us as opposed to just leaving it to the league. Like we need to make sure that we really hit this ourselves and make a point of it. And, We did, but obviously not enough.
When policies change, it's our job to educate. We're professional teachers. And so the packet we received, we looked at, studied closely, and then we presented it. You know, if you're a teacher and half your class gets a D, you better look at yourself.
Rodgers, the suspended Colts cornerback, reportedly made more than 100 bets and at least one wager on a game involving the Colts, a source told ESPN's David Purdom. Earlier this month, Rodgers apologized on social media, saying in part, "I know I have made mistakes, and I am willing to do whatever it takes to repair the situation." In a statement to ESPN's Adam Schefter Thursday, the Titans' Nicholas Petit-Frere, who started 16 games at right tackle last season, said he was unaware betting on sports other than NFL football from a team facility was also against the rules. Petit-Frere apologized and vowed to be ready when he returns later this season. In a statement, the Titans said in part, "We believe in Nick and know that he has a deep respect for the integrity of the game." For ESPN, I'm John Barr.
And Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry both waived by the Colts on Thursday. Joe Fortenbaugh, Courtney Cronin in the seat for Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max this morning. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU, talking NFL. Sam Acho joins the show at 7:30 Eastern. Coming up, Vegas looks to ace their test. MLB All-Star starters announced. We'll hear from one of them. And the night's top plays include big blows from those bigs. That's on deck. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, the ESPN Radio NFL Rankem Series continues with my top 5 off-season editions. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, I don't know why I'm yelling. 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN Radio SportsCenter All Night. More next.
Hi, this is Gail from Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hey, Gail, I'm looking for a credit card that's good for a busy lifestyle.
I've got the hook up. You can earn 3 times the points on dining and 2 times on fuel with our Gold Rewards card. IYKYK.
Do you mean if you know, you know?
Is that what that means?
We totally get it. Finance, that is. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Attention Smith's shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Smith's and experience the care you and your family deserve. Smith's, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
Summer is here. The only thing that should be hot are the offers from Renewal by Andersen. Without energy-efficient windows, do you realize that you're losing AC even with your windows totally closed? Renewal by Andersen's summer sale is going on now with buy one, get one 40% off, plus $35 off each window, $50 off each door, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. Call 702-816-5887. License number 0082260005696.
Time for a Celsius vibe check. It's the Celsius Arctic Vibe Frozen Blueberry Edition. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. What's your vibe?
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer.
With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance.
Adam Jones. Jones has 4 personals also. Parker with the trail, though. Skips it. Candace Parker with another 3 ball. She is perfect. 3 for 3 behind the arc.
Prime Video, Candace Parker, 15, Kelsey Plum, 18. Las Vegas routs the New York Liberty 98-81 in their first meeting between two of the top teams in the WNBA. It was the 7th consecutive win for the Aces. They're now 14-1. How about the night's top plays? All about diamond play, which includes Shohei. Mark Robbins has the details.
Number 5.
Hello there, Jim. Our top sound begins on the diamond. In fact, Boston's Brian Bayo was pitching a gem against the Marlins into the 8th. Call on WEEI 93.7 FM in Boston.
No runs, no hits for Miami. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for Boston. Bounding ball up the middle. Diving stop by Hernandez from his knees. The throw, no chance to the home plate side of the first base bag. Great effort by Kike. Did well just to stop it, but had to throw from his knees and didn't get anything on it. And many of the fans now on their feet saluting Bayo. Took a no-hitter into the 8th inning and lost it on the second pitch of the 8th on an infield single by Segura.
Number 4.
The best home run hitter in the bigs was at it again Thursday. Here he is on Angels Radio AM 830.
Graveman's 2-strike pitch. Shohei swings at that one and lifts a high fly ball. That's deep, and that's going to go in left center. He just hit one out. His 4th home run in this series. That one goes the opposite way out by the rocks out there in left center, and it's not over yet. Angels trail 9-7.
Number 3.
Now, he's got a way to go to catch Ohtani, but Spencer Torkelson will get there quicker if he can hit 2 every game. Listen to 97.1 The Ticket, Detroit.
King, the lefty, works third base side. Checks the runner, McKinstry, the 2-2. As soon as the line drive down the left field line. Hooking deep and gone! Spencer Torkelson, 3-run home run to break this game open in the 8th. 2 home runs today. Number 11. And the Tigers take an 8-3 lead in the 8th.
Number 2.
For the Astros, Alex Bregman finished off the Cardinals. KBME 790 AM.
The 2-1. And Bregman hits it well. It hits it deep to left field. Walker is going back, looking up. Grand slam for Alex Bregman. Hits it off the facade of the second deck. And the Astros lead it 14-0.
Number 1.
Our top play, a walk-off winner in Kansas City. 6'10", KCSP.
Another 2-2 pitch. Fermin lines it down the third baseline. Fair ball. Isbell's in to score from third. Lopez runs to third. Wilson waves him around. Here comes Lopez to the plate. Throws off line. Lopez scores standing. Freddie Fermin wins the ball game. A 2-run double in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Royals leap out of their dugout and celebrate on the left side of the infield. They come from behind and defeat the Guardians 4-3 in 10 innings.
Yeah, Gloria, by the way, is Mark Robbins' all-time favorite song. He requested it, said he wouldn't voice the top plays without that music. Angels center fielder Mike Trout has been elected to his 11th All-Star game. 4 Texas Rangers chosen for the American League lineup July 11th, the game at Seattle's T-Mobile Park. Trout voted to start for the 10th time and will be joined by teammate Shohei Ohtani. The Braves and Dodgers each had 3 All-Star starters. Freddie Freeman played for Atlanta, now L.A. He joined the MLB All-Star Reveal show anchored by Kevin Connors.
For the 7th time in his spectacular career, Dodgers star Freddie Freeman is an All-Star. Freddie, congratulations. You've won a World Series and an MVP. What's special to you still about the All-Star game?
I think it's more of as I get older in this game and, having 3 kids now and one of them going to be remembering these kind of things. I think that's what makes it so special for me. Having Charlie come to these and my 2 younger boys who aren't going to remember this. So hopefully I can make maybe 1 or 2 more later in my career too, so they can remember it. But I think that's what's so special about this All-Star Games is creating family memories with my family.
Freddie, you pride yourself on playing every day. You're 79 starts in 79 games this year. What, as you've gotten older, has allowed you to maintain that pace that you set earlier in your career?
Yeah, it's more of just understanding how to get through the grind of a 162-game schedule. It's taken a lot of work to find out routines that work for me. And luckily, I was able to find it 7-8 years ago of how to get ready for games, what I need to do, what I do in the off season. So I do pride myself on playing every single day. I try to take the pressure off Doc to be able to not have to worry about me. He can just pencil me in. And so I take a lot of pride in playing every day. And, I've been able to do that this year so far.
How about Freeman's team on the field?
Here's 2-1. And a fly ball to right. Hitting on back. It is gone. J.D. Martinez, 3 for 3. He continues to dominate the Rockies. He loves to play at Coors Field.
Yeah, how about J.D. Martinez? And that was Charlie Steiner, AM 570 LA Sports. Martinez, 4 hits, 4 knocked in, including that long ball. Dodgers, 18 hits, 14 runs, 14-3 at Coors Field. They're now 2 games back of the Snakes for the top spot in the West. 9 first-time starters were picked by the fans, by the way, including 3 Texas Rangers, catcher Jonah Heim, shortstop Corey Seager, third baseman Josh Young, and Rangers second baseman Marcus Semien chosen for his second start. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max with Joe Fortenbaugh and Courtney Cronin in the seat this morning. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Talking NBA with free agency upon us. Tim Bontemps on the show at 7:15. An hour later, it's Bobby Marks. And then Tim McMahon at 9:15 Eastern. And there's NFL conversation courtesy of Sam Acho at 7:30 Eastern. A day after the Blackhawks landed generational talent Connor Bedard with the top overall pick, the NHL draft concluded rounds 2 through 7. Keep up with all those selections on ESPN.com. A co-owner for the Dodgers has acquired assets of the Premier Hockey Federation, clearing the way for a pro women's hockey league in North America, expected to launch in January of 2024. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Nick Carty and technical director Ben Rivera, I'm Jim Basketball. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max with Joe Fortenbaugh and Courtney Cronin is next.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
Hey there, firecracker. Want to light up this 4th of July with a flawless tan? Palm Beach Tan is here for it. Now through July 5th, virtually everything is on sale. $1 sunbed tans, 2-pack spray tan specials. Join for only $5. Plus 25% off skincare, including Australian Gold. Glow up before you show up to all the 4th of July parties. Palm Beach Tan. Embody your true colors.
At Carrington College, it's never too late to continue your education and start a new and rewarding career that makes a difference. Carrington's dental assisting program could be the perfect path for you. With hands-on training and experienced instructors, you'll gain the skills and experience to be proud of your profession. In as few as 9 months, you could graduate with the confidence to embark on a new and rewarding career in dental assisting. Don't wait any longer to achieve your career goals. Take the first step towards your new career path today by visiting carrington.edu. Visit carrington.edu/SCI for important information on program outcomes.
Hi, this is Gail from Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hey, Gail, I'm looking for a credit card that's good for a busy lifestyle.
I've got the hook up. You can earn 3 times the points on dining and 2 times on fuel with our Gold Rewards card. IYKYK.
Do you mean if you know, you know?
Is that what that means?
We totally get it. Finance, that is. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Attention Smith's shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Smith's and experience the care you and your family deserve. Smith's, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
What should we do with the broke propeller? What should we do with the broke propeller? Don't look at me, I wasn't driving. Thank you, you're not helping. I don't even know why you bought this boat. You told me that you loved this boat. That was before you wrecked the boat. Well, now you've made it awkward.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99. Plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
But is this correct that you don't shower once you get off plane rides, Pat?
My first priority when I get off a plane isn't to find the nearest shower and get changed. No.
It was a conversation about flying across the country and coming to visit me. And I said the first thing that he's going to do is he's dropping his bags off and he's getting his nasty ass in the shower.
Yes.
You're not flopping down on my couch and walking around opening up my refrigerator and you're taking your shoes off at the front door. I play rough when I need to. Period.
So wait.
Across the country, you done walked through a nasty airport. You done touched all the handrails. You went in a nasty restroom. You done some just gross stuff.
Y'all made me realize how nasty these planes are, because I swear I be down there jumping in the shower with my clothes on trying to get that funk off of me.
The only thing more disgusting than Pat not taking showers is listening to Jay and Matt try to defend the most despicable villain in sports right now. Y'all can spend more time talking about hygiene.
That's one way to get your morning started. Another going through the Woj bomb that dropped on Thursday night. James Harden has opted into his $36.5 million player option. So instead of heading towards free agency, it is likely we have seen the last of Joel Embiid and James Harden on the floor together in Philadelphia. Good morning. Welcome to Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. I'm Courtney Cronin. He's Joe Fortenbaugh. We're sitting in for the guys on this Friday morning, as always, presented by Progressive Insurance. I don't know how things change so quickly here, because I remember yesterday morning on First Take, Brian Windhorst was on talking about how things felt a lot closer between Philadelphia Joe and James Harden, that something might get worked out to where there would be an extension instead of now the potential of a sign and trade. how quickly things change in the NBA is just wild, but it's not surprising because this league loves to keep things interesting in free agency.
Absolutely fantastic news for the Philadelphia 76ers, because at least you'll come away with something in this scenario. Harden will opt in. You can move on from him via a trade, and you can bring some assets back in return. Because if you go back to when they acquired James Harden, they had to give up Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round draft picks, 1 protected, 1 unprotected. In exchange, they bring back James Harden and Paul Millsap. Now, Philadelphia won that trade as of right now because Simmons has been a net negative for the Nets. It's not only that he doesn't contribute on the court, he costs a lot of money. Meanwhile, Harden did lead the league in assists last season and had a spectacular game 1 against Boston. So you got something out of him. With him leaving, though, after giving up 2 first-round picks to acquire him, the ability to bring something back and not just lose him outright in free agency is huge for Philadelphia. Now, for those who are going to say, Courtney, well, what about the production you're going to lose? Yeah, regular season production, big numbers. That's what James Harden can do. But when you need him to be an absolute killer, Game 6 against Boston, Game 7 against Boston, he shot a combined 25% from the floor and committed 10 turnovers. He's never been that guy. He's never been that guy. Running it back with him isn't going to get you anywhere closer to what you're ultimately looking for, which is an NBA title.
9 points in that Game 7, that forgettable Game 7 against Boston in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Where Philadelphia goes from here, we're hearing the names Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, potentially a fit in that backcourt. But the names that we're hearing for James Harden, potential trade destinations here would be the Los Angeles Clippers and the New York Knicks. Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN NBA insider, on how those 2 teams might find their way into the mix with James Harden and what opting in means for his future.
I think in a perfect world, James Harden would have declined that player option, gone into free agency, and then re-signed with the Sixers on a long-term deal. But he could not be confident that the years and the money would be there for him, especially because cap space was going to probably dry up around the league on him, especially in Houston, where he thought he would have leverage. And I think once Ime Udoka came in as head coach, they started looking at the roster, what they wanted to do in free agency. I think Fred VanVleet has moved to the top of the list in Houston. And so what James Harden didn't want to get stuck was July 1, July 3rd, July 5th. He's trying to hammer it out with Daryl Morey in Philly, doesn't like the deal. They're arguing July 8th, July 10th, and you're just dragged into no man's land of negotiations. So by opting in, he gets to $35.5 million next year, and now he can get a trade, I think presumably to a contending team.
And what we know from all of that is, with Ime Udoka, it doesn't seem like a fit down there in Houston. The defense that James Harden brings with, not exactly desirable. We had heard a lot of that buzz about maybe he does want to go back to Houston. Maybe it won't be Philadelphia. Now that buzz is kind of quieted. The reason, though, that Woj brought up that I thought was an interesting point when he talks about the years. Remember, Philly was the only team that would have been able to offer him that 4-year, $213 million max extension. Here's the long and the short of it. No team thinks he's a max player, especially the one that he had played on for the last 2 seasons. So it's very likely here that he's going to be on his 4th team since 2021, which is just wild when you think about a disgruntled James Harden. When he finds he's not happy about something, he is not shy, Joe, in trying to force his way out and get somewhere else and opting in here. Because if you're going to opt out of your contract, you have to make sure that you have a market for yourself. You have to have a fail-safe somewhere. And I frankly don't know if he felt that. If he and his agent got together and said, this is your best path to getting to a marquee destination. Although this is a short-term rental. Any team that gets him in a trade cannot extend him. So we will be dealing with this maybe 365 days from now when free agency opens again in 2024.
It's just Aaron Rodgers watch all over again. It's just the NBA version with James Harden. You make an interesting point. This is going to be his 4th team in 3 years. Is that the type of guy that's going to put you on the championship level, right? Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum. Stars of that nature, Luka Doncic. What do they all have in common? They've been anchored with their teams for a while, trying to build, trying to improve, trying to tweak, trying to get over the hump. Harden was on the outs in Houston and decided to leave, during which time he couldn't get along with Dwight Howard. He couldn't get along with Chris Paul. He couldn't get along with Russell Westbrook. He goes to Brooklyn. That ends miserably in spectacular fashion. Can't make it work there. He goes to Philadelphia. He's there for almost 2 years. Good times, bad times. Now he's on his way out the door. Is that the guy you want to put a heavy investment in to get you over the top, given the decrease in production from a scoring standpoint? Courtney, the change in the NBA with the rules now, it doesn't suit James Harden at all. He used to get a large percentage of his points from the free throw line, stepping back, finding ways to draw fouls. That stuff doesn't necessarily exist anymore. They've cut back on all that three-point shooting nonsense with the jumping and the bumps and the arms and everything that happens. And now that he's not getting to the line as much, he's not as prolific a scorer. And now that he's not as prolific a scorer, he has become a better facilitator, but it's not worth the price of admission given the risk you take in terms of chemistry and the risk you take when you're talking about marquee moments, Game 6, Game 7, and you need your stars to step up. He's shown us from the beginning it's tough for him to do that on a consistent basis, if at all, which is why Philadelphia is going to be just fine moving on. If they couldn't get past the second round with him, not getting past the second round without him won't be a challenge.
And that's why I think Houston initially came into the mix. You go to a place that is so far away from contending, the pressure's off of you. And we hadn't heard from James Harden, but when you're trying to get inside his beard, get inside his head, maybe you're thinking that he doesn't want to deal with that added pressure of, man, every time I've been in a Game 6 and a Game 7, I've come up short. He's not really at the point of his career, so you'd think, given the track record, where it felt like ring chasing was all that much of a priority for him, which is why I think Houston came up initially. Now it feels like that's a completely different conversation. If he is, which he did, opting into his $35.6 million player option, that is the best path for him getting to a marquee destination. Now, will that destination be in Los Angeles with the Clippers, a team that has struck out on literally every point guard available throughout this cycle last couple weeks, whether it was Malcolm Brogdon in the trade that fell through, whether it was Bradley Beal, Chris Paul? Don't know what they're going to do with Russell Westbrook, so maybe James Harden finds a fit there. Or could it be the New York Knicks? Joe, neither of these teams make a ton of sense from an on-court fit, but the Clippers specifically, a team that has never been shy about spending money, and whatever the bill costs, they're going to pay it. They've also been a team that has had the mentality of we're one player away from being really good. Could you see James Harden with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in 2023? Because that's a really strange on-court fit just by the look of it, but they did make a move the day before this happened in releasing Eric Gordon, who is now set to hit free agency himself.
Clippers make plenty of sense given the way they've operated the last few years. The Knicks make no sense to me. Absolutely none whatsoever. In what world do James Harden and Tom Thibodeau get together and agree with one another and work together in harmony to complete the mission that they're trying to complete in New York? Thibodeau wants guys, blue-collar guys diving for loose balls, guys that are going to be defense. Yeah, guys who play defense. I mean, Harden, it doesn't seem like he's going to want to be coached that way. If he didn't like the way he was coached by Doc Rivers, he's going to like the way he's coached by Tom Thibodeau. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me when it comes to the future of the New York Knicks. For the Clippers, it's fine. They've been just stumbling along the last few years with two mega talents in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who just can't get on the court from an injury perspective. And are we sure Kawhi Leonard is going to be healthy this year coming back? And if so, how many games is he going to give you? There were already the rumors that they wanted to move on from Paul George. So I wonder if somehow he would be involved in a trade with Philadelphia if they can make the finances work there. But the bottom line with Harden for me is that there are three types of teams in the NBA. You're competing for championships, you're competing for a playoff berth, or you're rebuilding. And I think the teams that are truly competing for championships, Harden's not the guy that's going to put you over the top. He's going to cost you a lot of money, and he's not going to be there in the marquee spots where you need him. Again, game one against Boston, he was phenomenal, but you need consistency. You can't have a floor that bottoms out the way James Harden's floor bottoms out. If you look at Denver, what's the floor for Nikola Jokic? Like, even a bad night at the office is probably 22 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists in 40-some minutes, shooting 60% from the floor. That's his floor. What's the floor for James Harden? I mean, it's atrocious. And that's the type of thing that gets you knocked out of the playoffs when you have a 3-2 series lead against a team like the Celtics, who wasn't as strong this year as they were in the past.
he's not the same player he once was when he was winning the MVP, when he was shooting at a clip that made you think that he is one of the best scorers in the game. That version of James Harden is gone, and we're probably not getting that back when he's going to be 34 years old this season. What we do know is that he led the league in assists last year for the second time in his career, and that is something that Philly's going to have to replace when this sign and trade inevitably goes through. Although we did talk to Bobby Marks last night on ESPN Radio, and he brought up that Philly could say through all of this, they want to end up retaining him. I mean, this could be the Kevin Durant situation that we had last offseason all over again, though it does feel that with James Harden opting into his $35.6 million player option, that there was no agreement on the long-term extension, probably a holdup there in the years and what James Harden is looking for versus what Philly is willing to pay. Free agency opening up tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to keep you updated on the latest movement and the names we are tracking, those we are expecting to be on the move right here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
NBA free agency begins today at 6 p.m. Eastern.
They have the ability to improve this roster and just keep growing this young core that they have.
The balance of power could be shifting in the NBA. Get the very latest moves, news, and what it all means. Free agency frenzy. It's right here on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Next.
Hey there, firecracker. Want to light up this 4th of July with a flawless tan? Palm Beach Tan is here for it. Now through July 5th, virtually everything is on sale. $1 sunbed tans, 2-pack spray tan specials. Join for only $5. Plus 25% off skincare, including Australian Gold. Glow up before you show up to all the 4th of July parties. Palm Beach Tan. Embody your true colors.
Make your Monday feel like a Friday and head to TGI Fridays for Monday Wing Night. Every Monday starting at 5 p.m., get unlimited traditional or boneless wings for 50 cents each when you order a minimum of 10 wings per order. Start your week off right at TGI Fridays.
Summer is here. The only thing that should be hot are the offers from Renewal by Andersen. Without energy-efficient windows, do you realize that you're losing AC even with your windows totally closed? Renewal by Andersen's summer sale is going on now with buy one, get one 40% off, plus $35 off each window, $50 off each door, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. Call 702-816-5887. License number 008226000569006.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half of Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Attention Smith's shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local.
The market for Kyrie Irving, legitimate places, it's extremely limited, perhaps almost
No. Do I think there are NBA contenders out there that would give Kyrie Irving the bag that he would want? No, I think Dallas is the one team.
What's the max numbers that Kyrie can get? What's this contract we're talking about?
I believe he can get up to $50 million.
Max, Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max on this beautiful Friday morning. We are almost in July. Free agency starts tonight in the NBA. Courtney Cronin, Joe Fortenbaugh will keep you covered on everything that's happening, all the names that we expect to be on the move. But after the news we got yesterday with James Harden expecting to be on the move in the not-too-distant future after opting into his player option, it brings up the idea that there may be two, including one of his former teammates, guards on their way to the Philadelphia 76ers. Could that be Kyrie Irving? Could it be Damian Lillard? Let's take a listen to Brian Windhorst, ESPN NBA insider who was on PTI, who floated the idea that one of these two could be the replacement for James Harden in Philly.
It now appears like Philadelphia may be in need of a point guard, and there may be an option there for Kyrie Irving to continue to test that situation. So I would not be surprised if we see Kyrie want to investigate what's going on in Philadelphia. If Harden moves out, if there's a window for him to come in. The other name here is Dame Lillard. Is it possible that Philadelphia, if James Harden moves out, could acquire assets from Los Angeles, put their assets together, and prepare an offer for Dame Lillard? That is an option. Kyrie Irving potentially would be an option, or they could go with Tyrese Maxey, take whatever assets they might get in a James Harden trade, and send those assets somewhere else for somebody else.
Nope. Don't like that one at all, especially the Kyrie Irving to Philadelphia idea that he floated out there. But the last part of what Wendy said, that's where I want to start. Why would Philadelphia, after the last two postseasons and seeing how good Tyrese Maxey has developed over the last 2 years, taking James Harden out of the equation? Why would you not at least kick the tires and see, hey, maybe this guy who had the fifth most three-pointers in the NBA last year and drastically had improved from the 2021 season to where he was at last year, why would you not give him a chance with Harden out of the picture, dominant on-ball player to free up what Tyrese Maxey can do, to at least see where his ceiling might be as your point guard?
Job protection. Or job security would probably be a better way to phrase that. We can sit here all day and we can talk about 1-year plans, 3-year plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans for every team in the NBA. Best approach, best way to build. Look at Denver, look at Golden State, look at Milwaukee, your last 3 champions. Draft a star, build around the star, tweak, and eventually you break through. We can talk about that all day. That's not how it works for front office executives, coaches, and other people that routinely find themselves on the hot seat in the NBA. Like Daryl Morey, it's not really working out in Philadelphia. It didn't work out in Houston. You had a great run. Unfortunately, you ran into the buzzsaw that was the Dynasty Warriors, and no one was getting by them. So now you move over to Philadelphia and you're trying to make it work. The thing is, you haven't done anything that city hasn't seen before. 6 straight years in the postseason, 5 of which have been second-round flameouts, 1 of which was a first-round sweep at the hands of the Boston Celtics in the bubble. So if you're Daryl Morey and you're the 76ers, you might not be thinking what you have long-term with Tyrese Maxey. You might see a young asset that on the move could bring you a Damian Lillard or someone else, and you figure that might be a better approach than what we're currently doing. I don't know why. If there's a way in which you can keep Embiid and Maxey and you can get Lillard to town, it would cost a lot. That's the killer that team needs, Courtney. That's the guy who puts them over the top.
I've been trying to do the math in my head of what it would cost to get
Very
Damian
difficult.
Lillard. We know it would be a lot more than the Bradley Beal acquisition by the Phoenix Suns because Damian Lillard doesn't have the no trade clause. So if you trade James Harden, then the assets you end up getting for James Harden, you're probably packaging and taking Tyrese Maxey in the mix and then moving that to Portland for Damian Lillard. Like that's probably what it's going to cost. So I like the idea of Damian Lillard in that backcourt. I certainly do. And if there was one way, somehow, some way that they could keep both Damian Lillard and Tyrese Maxey together, I think that becomes a team that doesn't have to deal with the potential of a gap year and doesn't have to deal with, hey, we're taking a step back in the Eastern Conference, because They can't do that with Joel Embiid coming off an MVP year and wanting to, remain on this trajectory, stay healthy, come off the production he put up in his best season. You can't afford to tell a big man at this point of his career, hey, we might have to take a step back to take a step forward in 2024, because there's a chance that he's going to say, to hell with that. I don't want to be around in 2024 on this team if that's the case. But Damian Lillard, the news around him has been relatively quiet as we enter this free agency period. And if there's any team that's not a Miami or not even a Brooklyn, I know those are his two preferred destinations, Joe, but Philly entering the chat here on Damian Lillard is a move that I'd like way more than the big giant question mark that Kyrie Irving is and has become. And frankly, I don't know how I'd see that one work, swapping one teammate for another, one of James Harden's teammates, to have him come back to the Philadelphia 76ers. I can't get, of all the math out there, that's very difficult. That's the one that I can't seem to get to compute.
The Irving case study is such a fascinating one because there's a viewpoint of him amongst NBA players, and then there's a viewpoint of him amongst everybody else. Feels like the media and the fans look at Irving and they say the guy's a problem. He's going to blow up your roster. He's going to prevent you from getting where you want to get to. And every NBA player you talk to, you listen to that's ever been around him, they love this guy. Like, despite everything we saw at the end in Cleveland, in Boston, with Brooklyn, there are players, elite players like Kevin Durant at every turn who defend the guy. They talk about what a great guy he is, what a great teammate he is. It's fascinating to see because you want to take that into account because those are the guys that truly know him and are around him. But what we see is a guy who a lot of times when you need him, he's got something else going on or he's got something he deems more important. I mean, no one's ever doubted the skill. No one's ever doubted the talent. No one's ever doubted what he's done for the game. What people doubt is where his head's at times, his availability. We're talking about winning championships. That's very different than winning 45 games and trying to get into the postseason. So if you're a Sixer fan like I am, it's all about Lillard. Go through this MVP list now that Joel Embiid has joined it. These are generational talents. Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, Harden and Westbrook are in there. They've put up monster seasons. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Derrick Rose, Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. You go back, Iverson, Shaq, all these guys. You have someone like this, you can go deep in the postseason. Every one of those guys I've mentioned has been to the conference finals. Joel Embiid is not. I mean, you have this guy in Embiid where maybe he's one of the best in the game, but he needs that killer alongside him who can put him over the top because that's what Philly has been lacking, the ability to close out high-level series in the postseason, the ability to drive the stake through the opposition. They could have done it in Game 6 against Boston. They scored 3 points over the final 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and Embiid puts his hands up after the game and says, well, they just weren't getting me the ball. You're supposed to be the alpha. Demand the ball. It's not supposed to be something where they have to figure out how to get it to you. You're out there trying to take over the game. Look at what Jokic did in the playoffs. He did it every time they needed him to do it. So if Lillard could come in with that killer instinct and Dame time, that would be the type of thing that Philly could look at putting them over the hump.
It has been quiet in terms of what Portland has done the last couple of days and really last week with the draft. It seems like it's a little bit of a challenge for them to fulfill this promise that Joe Cronin, their GM, has put out there, that they are trying to build a contender around Damian Lillard. We'll see if free agency ends up helping them fulfill that promise, but they don't want to wait too long to make that happen before they could potentially capitalize on moving Damian Lillard for more assets to begin a true rebuild. And the Kyrie thing, again, like the Mavs want to re-sign him. We know that because they can't have 2 off seasons where they go lose Jalen Brunson and then lose Kyrie Irving after trading what they traded for him at the deadline to get him down to Dallas. In about 17 games, the production, the individual production between himself and Luka Doncic, it was there. But the pieces that are missing around both of those players, very notable. So maybe they add more there. Maybe they keep Kyrie in Dallas, but seems like he's got his eye set on a couple different destinations, reportedly taking a visit with the Phoenix Suns, one that's going to happen out in Los Angeles. We'll see how that plays into him potentially being on the move, whether it's there or whether it's to Philly. Straight ahead, the NFL continues to suspend players for gambling, but is it as big of an issue as we believe? First, Joe has this from Vivid Seats.
Here at Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, we're fired up for the MLB season. Luckily for you, our friends at Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN, have great deals on great seats with a huge selection of tickets to this year's hottest matchups. Experience every crack of the bat, every diving catch, and every heart-pounding play on your favorite team live and in person. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
The NFL suspends 3 more players indefinitely for betting on games.
The NFL can laugh all the way to the bank, yet if one of their players bets $20, he's suspended for a year. If you don't see something hypocritical in that, I'm not too sure who you are.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
California's community schools, where parents and families, students and educators make decisions as one. Curriculum from cybersecurity to gardening, and assisting families with their needs. Reimagining public education. Paid for by the California Teachers Association.
Are you looking to upgrade your ride this summer with something eco-friendly and affordable? Find it at North County Kia during the Kia Summer Sales Event. They have a wide selection of electric and hybrid models to fit your needs while helping you save time and money at the pump. North County Kia has been serving San Diego for 25 years, and their people look forward to serving you too. Visit North County Kia today or shop online at northcountykia.com. And don't forget to ask about their special military incentives.
North County Kia, North County Kia. Our people make the difference.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Smith's, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
Hey, true crime fans, have you heard about Dateline 24/7? Catch up on all the true crime stories from around the world anytime you want, streaming on TuneIn. Listen now for all the true crime drama you can handle.
I'm a sushi chef. I also happen to be a cat. How'd I get here? Adobe Photoshop. It turned a cute kitty like me into a sashimi master. And it can make your images look amazing too. In just a few clicks, you can replace a boring background, swap out a so-so sky, and remove distractions like people and power lines. With Photoshop, everyone can. I love playing with this mouse. Click or tap the banner to visit Photoshop.com and pounce on your free trial today.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Please be safe and have a wonderful 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
You know, it's America's birthday.
Happy 4th of July.
From TuneIn Radio.
Did you know you can use AirPlay and Chromecast to listen on connected devices? Tap on the device icon from the Now Playing screen on the TuneIn app and listen to all your favorite stations like Today's Hits, Latin Hits, Country Roads, and more.
I smell sexy, candy, yeah.
BCLF Cocoa Pod is a Caribbean storytelling experience in which writers of Caribbean heritage narrate their own stories. Each story is a seed, a nugget of an original work of fiction, rich with the rhythm, pitch, and intonation of
Family Company.
And Williams coming back. Struck him out swinging with a change-up, and the ball game is over. 3-2 the final score, and the Brewers have taken 3 of 4 from the Mets. Devin Williams loaded the bases and got out of it.
That's how it sounded on 620 WTMJ as the Brewers hung on for a 3-2 victory over the Mets, dropping New York a season-high 9 games under 500 at the halfway point. The $355 million Mets are 36-45 and have lost 18 of 24. Kyle Schwarber homered on the game's first pitch here. Taijuan Walker won his 5th straight start as the Phillies beat the Chicago Cubs 3-1 on Thursday. And in the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces routed the New York Liberty 98-81 for a 7th straight win. The Aces are now 14-1 on the season. SportsCenter is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance by visiting progressive.com.
The NFL suspends 3 more players indefinitely for betting on games.
You want to talk about conflicts of interest affecting the integrity of the game? We're looking at it from a player standpoint, but to me, that's the micro of it all. Think about the macro with the NFL having relationships with these sports gambling entities.
The NFL can laugh all the way to the bank, yet if one of their players bets $20, he's suspended for a year. If you don't see something hypocritical in that, I'm not too sure who you are. Practice what you preach.
The NFL suspended 4 more players on Thursday for gambling. Isaiah Rodgers of the Indianapolis Colts, we had known about his name, but a couple new ones surfacing. Rashad Berry of the Indianapolis Colts, free agent Demetrius Taylor also suspended indefinitely. In addition, Tennessee Titans offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Ferre was suspended 6 games for betting on other sports inside the workplace. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Courtney Cronin, Joe Fortenboss sitting in for the guys here on this Friday morning, as always presented by Progressive Insurance. And it's perfect that we have Joe here. He's out in Las Vegas. He handles all of our sports wagering coverage for ESPN. And I've been waiting to ask you everything that's in my mind about this situation when the news came out from Adam Schefter earlier in the week that these suspensions were looming. They would be handed down. And what we see now are the 4 players that were suspended in addition to the list that we had already received, which included Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, several other Lions players. And I heard Mad Dog there in my ear when he's talking about the hypocrisy level here from the NFL. When you have sports books and so many different, sports wagering promotions that are involved now with the NFL, for the NFL to turn around and look at its players that, obviously if you're going to bet on the NFL, that is dumb. That you've made your bed with that, Joe. But for other players to receive these season-long suspensions, several of whom, were betting on other sports that just so happened to be inside their facility, it just feels like this NFL gambling policy is made to be the downfall of NFL players. Because remember, inside buildings, players are the only ones who are allowed to place bets. coaches cannot do it. NFL personnel cannot do it. But you see a handful of players there on the screen that are now affected by this, and many of whom, these day 3 undrafted free agents who may never play in the NFL again by the time their suspension is up.
It feels hypocritical, and I understand where Mad Dog's coming from. And there's a case to be made that how can you get into bed with these companies and make all this money through advertising and then treat the players differently? What does it matter? What does it matter? There's hypocrisy everywhere. Politicians, leaders, companies, businesses, it's everywhere. It's not a fair world. Whether you want it to be fair or not, it's not. The reality of this is that it's very clear. A, you cannot bet on NFL football. B, you can't bet on anything on the premises of your NFL team, right? You can't do it on the grounds. So don't do it. That's it. Don't do it. Like right now, it would be nice to have a mimosa in your hand, would it not? I'm not going to speak for you. It'd be great to have a mimosa right now.
Well, early.
I can't do that. It's not part of this job. It is not allowed. Therefore, I do not drink a mimosa. There are other people out there that can do that right now. Is that hypocrisy? No, it's just the rules. It's the rules. And what the NFL has told you is, above all else, the integrity of the game matters. So if you're going to bet on NFL games, you're going to get hit with a pretty big suspension. You're going to get hit with a pretty big fine. And then on top of that, if you are at the facility and you are gambling on anything else, you're going to get drilled as well. Whether or not it's fair doesn't matter. Those are the rules. So avoid the rules if you want to keep the job. And if you don't value the job that highly, then continue to make bets on games in the locker room or wherever else you are in the facility. I mean, they made it clear if you leave the facility, you can go ahead and fire away on non-NFL type sports. But for some reason, that message is not getting across. And Courtney, I find it hard to believe that teams aren't educating the players on this. You've been in locker rooms. You've been at the facility. Those signs are everywhere, are they not?
That's the thing. I don't know if they actually are. You know, in the locker room when guys are getting ready to go out onto the field and they have the uniform check, you can wear this, but you can't wear this. Your socks need to be up to here or you're going to get fined. I would like to see the next time I walk into Soldier Field to cover a Chicago Bears home game or even in a visitor's locker room, I'd like to see more information around the room that has to do with gambling. There's 6 rules that the NFL is trying to enforce here, and it's come through an added emphasis on education, NFL PA reps, talking to teams throughout OTAs and minicamp. The 6 rules. The number one, do not bet on the NFL. That's a no-brainer. If you do that, you're making your own bet. But number 2 through 6, there's some that, in players that I've spoken with, they weren't entirely up to speed on. Number 2, don't gamble at your team's facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team hotel. Don't have someone bet for you. Do not share inside information. Don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season. Don't play daily fantasy football. Number 5 is one that Chicago Bears tight end Cole Kmet, we were talking during OTAs just about how is the team handling with the suspensions that came down for the Detroit players and the Washington player before the 4 extra suspensions came down, bringing it to a total of 9 players who have been suspended for the 2023 season due to gambling. And what Kmet said was they had a player rep come in and do a presentation and throw out the idea, hey, do you guys know the answer to this? Like, if you're playing a road game in Vegas, can you go to a casino the night before? Not that most people would. You'd be preparing for a game, but just the idea of it. And the answer is no, according to number 5 on this list. That's not a rule I'm sure a lot of NFL players were up to speed on. And it's kind of convoluted, Joe. Like, don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season. Does that mean that I would get in trouble just stepping into a sports book? Do I have to place a bet? There's still so much gray area here that I'm not entirely sure players are not going to slip up continuously until there is more education on it, and it is just kind of always in your periphery and something that they're emphasizing on a regular basis, because you can go through all of these meetings, you can have all the rules that you want until it's enforced and then reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. Players are going to continue to either think they can get away with it by going around and, of course, doing it away from the team facility, safer than doing it in there. But when you're traveling on a plane, going to a road game, when you're in the team hotel, I mean, that is how Jamison Williams, he was at the team facility. But think about how many guys are laying in their bed the night before a game, might be scrolling through, trying to put a parlay in, not necessarily on the NFL, but college football late on a Saturday night. You can't do that anymore during the NFL season. It honestly feels like they should have a ban on all gambling from July until the end of your season to prevent any more suspensions like this, because in season, there's a lot of ways to slip up with this. And the cynic in me feels like this is only the tip of the iceberg still, even after these 9 suspensions.
All right, so there's a couple good points there with some of the rules. Number one, the idea of being in a hotel when you're on the road, right? I can understand that. Now, let's go back a few years when sports betting was legal in the state of New Jersey, but not in the state of New York. Do you know what people living in Manhattan would do when they'd want to make their NFL bets? They'd go to the path. Yeah, they'd go to the path and they'd cross over into Hoboken and they'd get geo-tracked into Jersey. They'd make all their bets, and then they'd come back over to New York City. If you're in a team hotel, and that's considered to be a place where you can't make a bet, walk outside, cross the street, do it over there. Inconvenient? Of course. But does it get around the rule that you're so desperate to get around, apparently? Yeah, it does. The sportsbook situation, that could be a little bit troublesome because living here in Las Vegas, there are certain parking garages that when you're making your way into a casino, you're right next to the sports book. I live by one right here in Henderson at Green Valley Ranch. You can come right in, and if you make a left turn, you're right there in the book. Now, the fact that you have physically stepped foot in that book, are you now in violation of the rule? Or can we go back and look at the cameras and realize you made a wrong turn, and when you realize where you were, you quickly left? Ultimately, they probably don't want players hanging out in sports books. If you misstep, I'd imagine there might be room for an appeal, but ultimately, don't go in the sports books. Is it fair? Probably not, but these are the rules. Ultimately, there they are. When in doubt, just err on the side of not coming near gambling, since the NFL is trying to keep you so far away from it as a player because of the integrity of the game element.
The NFL is trying to course correct here. I think that's more than obvious by how quickly they came down with these suspensions and the added education. So we have heard about from coaches and players throughout the spring. Is it going to be enough to alleviate this from happening? Probably not. You just laid out. Guys are going to try to find a way around it, and that means stepping outside of the hotel just so you're literally not on what at that point is deemed team property during a road game. I don't know if there is a way to control gambling other than what they're already trying to do, but there will always be those who think that they can get around the rules. The NFL, though, with these rules, especially the 6 that we read, there's going to be some massaging that needs to take place. I guarantee by the next time the CBA is ratified, it was done in 2020, so we're 3 years into this, that gambling policy is going to look a lot different. You cannot avoid where we are right now in the world where gambling, sports wagering is a part of sports. It's almost as much a part of it as the on-field product. And when the fans are doing it, and when the NFL is capitalizing on this billion-dollar enterprise, certainly does look hypocritical in the end of this when you see all of these 1-year suspensions that have come down. And really for those outside of you bet on your sport because that is your own fault. That is the number one rule. Everyone has known that. But for everything else, there's a lot of gray area there that the NFL is going to have to continue to work through. Coming up next here on Keyshawn, J, Will, and Max, we start off the day with our ESPN Radio's Rank 'em series in the NFL, our top 5 off-season editions. That's coming up next. Courtney Cronin, Joe Fortenboss, sitting in for the guys on this Friday morning.
Camp to camp, every run, team to team.
It's on this field where fortunes are made or lost.
Continuing coverage. The countdown to kickoff rolls on. 69 days until the NFL season begins.
Yeah, I like football. I like the football season and all the things that go with it.
The NFL lives here. ESPN Radio. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Mac.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
Are you looking to upgrade your ride this summer with something eco-friendly and affordable? Find it at North County Kia during the Kia Summer Sales Event. They have a wide selection of electric and hybrid models to fit your needs while helping you save time and money at the pump. North County Kia has been serving San Diego for 25 years, and their people look forward to serving you too. Visit North County Kia today or shop online at northcountykia.com. And don't forget to ask about their special military incentives.
North County Kia, North County Kia. Our people make the difference.
At Carrington College, it's never too late to continue your education and start a new and rewarding career that makes a difference. Carrington's dental assisting program could be the perfect path for you. With hands-on training and experienced instructors, you'll gain the skills and experience to be proud of your profession. In as few as 9 months, you could graduate with the confidence to embark on a new and rewarding career in dental assisting. Don't wait any longer to achieve your career goals. Take the first step towards your new career path today by visiting carrington.edu. Visit carrington.edu/SCI for important information on program outcomes.
Hey there, firecracker. Want to light up this 4th of July with a flawless tan? Palm Beach Tan is here for it. Now through July 5th, virtually everything is on sale. $1 sunbed tans, 2-pack spray tan specials. Join for only $5. Plus 25% off skincare, including Australian Gold. Glow up before you show up to all the 4th of July parties. Palm Beach Tan. Embody your true colors.
Time for a Celsius vibe check. It's the Celsius Tropical Vibe Starfruit Pineapple Edition. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. What's your vibe?
I can't keep this in anymore. I can't even believe I'm saying this, to be honest. You know you can tell me anything. I'm capital VFD42, capital Z, lowercase m, underscore, lowercase p, capital L, reverse slash apostrophe, lowercase rs. I know how you feel. Just between us, I'm underscore, comma, dash, underscore, $, capital G, lowercase w, comma, forward slash.
From the top 5 NFL quarterbacks.
So badly want to bring Super Bowl here to Buffalo.
Herbert rolling right, throws, touchdown. To the top 5 NFL fan bases. We're ranking the top of everything in the NFL. This is ESPN Radio's Rank 'em, the top 5 off-season editions.
Oh, we love a list here on ESPN Radio. We've ranked receivers, we've ranked running backs, top 5 fan bases. Yesterday, top 5 rookies. Today, you've got the top 5 off-season editions here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Courtney Cronin, Joe Fortenbaugh, filling in for the guys. We'll whip through these. We've got some great NFL music in the background. We are now 70 days away from kickoff, opening game on Thursday Night Football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. I don't know if we'll have any of their offseason acquisitions in our list, but Joe, I'm going to let you kick things off here with number 5 on your list.
Dalvin Tomlinson. That's what happens when it's 3 a.m. in Las Vegas. That's on me, fellas. That one's on me. Dalvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, Cleveland Browns, 4 years, $57 million, extremely durable. He's played in 93 of a possible 98 regular season games since he joined the league. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, and that's going to be a huge help for Cleveland that needs to free up Myles Garrett on the outside. Cleveland was 19th in scoring defense last year. They did struggle to defend the run, but they can run the ball with Nick Chubb, and they're going to be better on offense with Deshaun Watson knocking the rust off last year when he came back from his suspension. Don't sleep on this Cleveland team. If they shore up the defense, they're going to be a formidable out. Dalvin Tomlinson is number 5 for me.
All right, my number 5 is Derek Carr joining the New Orleans Saints. We know about how his time ended with the Las Vegas Raiders, effectively benched towards the final 3 or 4 games, and he makes his way to the Big Easy, a team that was 7-10 last year. They need to be rejuvenated at the quarterback position because their offense has been, frankly, underwhelming, Joe, and we saw what Derek Carr was able to do in nearly a decade with the Oakland Raiders and the Las Vegas Raiders. He's capable of getting this team to the postseason. Now, are they capable of winning in the postseason? They've come up short with him at quarterback. I think a change of scenery, though, was absolutely needed. It wasn't working out for him in Las Vegas with Josh McDaniels within that offense. And this now a chance for him to reunite with Dennis Allen, somebody who was on the coaching staff with Derek Carr in the very early part of his career when this team was still in Oakland. I think it's good for all parties involved, and this is a division you can take advantage of. They were 7-10 last year. You've got a rookie quarterback in Carolina. You've got Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, and then in Atlanta, a giant unknown with Desmond Ridder as their QB. So Derek Carr, the most experienced quarterback in the division, and a breath of fresh air for this Saints team that's had Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, kind of a hodgepodge there the last couple of years.
Number 4.
Jalen Ramsey, cornerback, Miami Dolphins. This was via trade, not free agency. 28 years old. Don't forget about him just because the Rams stunk last year. He's been to 6 straight Pro Bowls, and now you're going to put him alongside Xavier Howard in Miami, giving you arguably the most formidable 1-2 punch at the cornerback position outside of Philadelphia with Darius Slay and James Bradbury. And we know how that worked out for the Eagles last year. Miami was 24th in scoring defense, 14th in opponent yards per play. If Tua is healthy, that offense is going to be nasty. Mike McDaniel's a solid head coach, and he's a great play caller, but they have to improve the defense. Bringing in Vic Fangio to run it is one thing. Bringing in Ramsey to play corner is another. Jalen Ramsey, cornerback, Miami Dolphins, acquisition number 4.
The defensive tackle market was very lucrative in free agency. Javon Hargrave cashed in on that in a very big way when he left Philly to go to the San Francisco 49ers. 18.5 sacks from him the last 2 seasons. Imagine that on a defensive line that has Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead. That's almost unfair to think about that much talent up front for the 49ers, but he is going to impact that 3 technique position in a very big way.
Number 3.
Aaron Rodgers. The New York Jets haven't been to the playoffs since 2010. They have 7 total playoff wins since 1986. 7. He's going to put them over the top. Garrett Wilson was the offensive rookie of the year. You bring in Alan Lazard and Mecole Hardman at wide receiver. Hopefully, Breece Hall is coming back healthy. The defense can play. The offensive line has some issues, but Rodgers and his ability to get the ball out of his hands in a hurry is going to help them. A lot of people might say, how is this not acquisition number 1? How do you not rank it number 2? I don't see the Jets eventually winning a Super Bowl with him. He might only be there 1 year, and eventually the drama that comes with Aaron Rodgers. That's why it's number 3. Still a great move because it makes the Jets better this year than obviously they were last year.
All right, so I'm close to this one, but I promise it's no home cooking because DJ Moore getting traded in the package with the number 1 overall pick from Carolina to Chicago gives Justin Fields the number 1 receiver that he's been without the last 2 years. If you want your quarterback to succeed, you've got to put talent around him. You've got to give him every weapon to make that possible. Look at what the Miami Dolphins did last year for Tua. They invested in and around him with the offensive line, which the Bears did, and by getting him a number 1 in Tyreek Hill. This is a move that you expect, okay, after this season, we will know definitively one way or the other if we have a franchise quarterback. So that's my number 3.
Number 2.
Agree on Javon Hargrave to San Francisco. The Niners are predicated on running the football and playing great defense. They want to control the clock on offense and run you into the ground. Javon Kinlaw, the first-round pick out of South Carolina, looks like a swing and a miss. This addresses that problem and makes them better along the front.
All right, you already said Aaron Rodgers was yours earlier. Aaron Rodgers is my number 2. We're up against it, so let's hit the last one.
Number 1.
Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator, Miami Dolphins. As we mentioned earlier, Miami can play offense, and if Tua stays healthy, they're going to score a lot of points. Fangio coming in to oversee the defense is going to take them to the next level. Do not sleep on the Dolphins in the AFC East this year.
Sean Payton was traded to the Denver Broncos. They gave up a lot to get him, so he's tasked with fixing Russell Wilson in 2023. That's our top 5 list. We'll get back into that later on here on Keyshawn, J, Will, and Max. But coming up next are the Lakers planning their future post-LeBron.
All it takes is a moment. A single moment in time that doesn't just open our eyes. It opens our world. It changes who we are. At the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, we see moments like this every day. Moments that spark change. Moments that don't just make us dream for a better future. They inspire us to make one. A moment can change a lifetime. Find yours at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park.
Warning, Carl's Jr.'s charbroiled El Diablo burger is back. Do not attempt to eat this burger unless you like sweating, gasping, spontaneous use of profanity, and jalapeno, habanero, and pepper jack cheese-induced hallucinations. Carl's Jr. is not responsible for grown men crying in public. The El Diablo is back. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 in the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Smith's, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Fads come and go, and nowhere more than in the world of weight loss. That's why Noom's weight management programs are made to last. Noom uses science and personalization to help you manage your weight for the long term. Their psychology-based approach helps you build better habits and behaviors that are easier to maintain. The best part? You decide how Noom fits into your life, not the other way around. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com to sign up for your trial today.
California's community schools, where parents and families, students and educators make decisions as one.
We all come together to better meet the needs of our kids and our families. Community schools lift the voices of folks that have traditionally not been heard, whether they are parents, students, community groups.
Many of our classes are designed around our own students' cultures.
It allows us to create the school that our students deserve. California's community schools, reimagining public education. Paid for by the California Teachers Association.
If your drains are slow or clogged, Bill Howe will clear out your drains and not your wallet with their $49 special. Don't waste time trying to fix your own plumbing. Call the Bill Howe experts. They'll get your job done right the first time. Save time and money. Get your drains cleared for only $49. Some restrictions apply.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE.
Bill Howe! License number 488413.
We know how.
Attention business owners. There are a lot of options when it comes to claiming the Employee Retention Tax Credit. File yourself, work with a CPA, or engage with a firm that built tech specifically for tax credits. As a technology-enabled tax firm, StenTam clients receive specialized technology and an experienced team that helps businesses unlock the full potential of ERC and remain compliant. For your complimentary review, visit stentam.com/refund. That's STENTAM.com/refund.
I'm a sushi chef. I also happen to be a cat. How'd I get here? Adobe Photoshop. It turned a cute kitty like me into a sashimi master.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Maz.
With your Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, and the Lakers, you think we're a lot closer maybe than we thought we were going to be.
A lot of parity in the league right now, and everyone smells an opportunity to chase a championship. We're going to try our best to stay in that pack or at the head of that pack.
What they are basically doing is saying, we're giving this a chance, and I'm empowering my head coach. We're only going to get players that fit how he plays instead of getting whatever big name we can and telling our coach, make it fit.
Yo.
Since the Lakers season ended in late May, the landscape of the West has completely changed. But if you hear Rob Pelinka, they're trying to run this thing back instead of change with the landscape itself. This is Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Courtney Cronin, Joe Fortenbaugh sitting in for the guys, as always, presented by Progressive Insurance. Continuity and youth over going after big free agent acquisitions. That is the song cry here for the Los Angeles Lakers. Whether it's the right one, we'll find out here in a couple of hours when free agency starts and then going forward into next week. But I just take a look at the West. I take a look at the Suns adding Bradley Beal, the Warriors adding CP3, the Spurs getting Victor Wembanyama in the draft, and then, of course, the Grizzlies adding Marcus Smart. Every team, Joe, has done something considerably. Even the Sacramento Kings last night, re-signing Harrison Barnes, pretty much telling Draymond Green, thanks but no thanks. Everybody's been active. But what we've seen with the Los Angeles Lakers is a lack of moves, which seems to be by design. They parted ways with Mo Bamba yesterday. It doesn't sound like they're going to pick up the option on Malik Beasley's $16.5 million contract. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, they're expected to stay. But this roster around LeBron James doesn't feel like it's going to be any different, at least to start the season in a couple months.
There's not a whole lot of room for what they can do from a big splash perspective, but I don't think that's necessarily what they need. It's important that when you go back and look at what the Lakers did last season, if you're going to zoom out and do the macro and say, well, they were only a 7 seed, 43-39, they finished 10 games back at Denver, that's not really painting an accurate picture, because there was the pre-Russell Westbrook trade and the post-Russell Westbrook trade. And when they moved on from Westbrook and they brought in Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell, they retooled the team in a way that they played better defense. And from that point forward to the end of the season, they were one of the more successful teams in the NBA. They get into the playoffs and they performed quite well until they ran into the Denver Nuggets, who swept them right out. No shame in that. The Nuggets went on to win the title, and they made it look pretty easy throughout the course of the postseason. So if you're the Lakers, there aren't a lot of major tweaks that, A, you can make, nor should you be considering to make. The two things you want to focus on more than anything else are, one, and this is actually really the only thing you want to focus on, how do you manage the injuries? Because it's not going to matter if LeBron James gets hurt, who else you brought in. It's not going to matter if Anthony Davis gets hurt, who else you brought in. And Davis is the big X factor here, because if you go back through his career, last year he plays 56 games. The year before that, 40 games. The year before that, 36 games. You need to be on the court, not necessarily throughout the entire duration of the regular season, but they need you healthy and productive in the playoffs. And Courtney, there were moments in the postseason against Denver where he went absolutely MIA. I don't know if it's a conditioning thing or what, but that's the number one priority, because if I'm the Lakers, I'm not necessarily worried about the Phoenix Suns. They had a lot of playmaking and a lot of scoring before the Bradley Beal trade. They brought in more playmaking and scoring, but they're still going to have issues on defense. They got to address the wing situation. They have no 3-and-D wings, and at the same time, they lack depth. And that's what burned them against Denver in that series, where they could not rely on anyone outside of Durant and Booker.
So what the Lakers are primed for right now as we enter free agency that's coming up in just about 12 hours, they have the full non-taxpayer mid-level exemption. That means that they could go get a Brook Lopez, one of the names that we're tracking in free agency. But elsewhere on the roster, doesn't feel like there's going to be that many big splash moves to improve what the core is. I think they look at this and say, hey, we were 18-9 after the trade deadline, which was the best record of any team in the NBA. If these pieces can stay healthy, if they can build off what they did last year in the West, then they have a good chance of running it back and getting at least as far as they did, if not further, in what could be the last year for LeBron James. You were on Fitz and Harry yesterday, and you had Ramona Shelburne, ESPN NBA senior writer, on with you, and that was a topic of conversation that came up, whether the Lakers are preparing for the end of the LeBron era.
Do you, Ramona, do you see the Lakers preparing for this to be LeBron's last season in LA?
Yeah. I mean, they have to.
Wow.
Like, he's been pretty unequivocal about saying, I want to play with my son, right? I mean, and he positioned himself to be a free agent or to have a player option that he could decline in the year that his son would be eligible for the NBA draft. And so, like, you know, the thing with LeBron is that he's pretty clear about his intention. Like, and the fact that he would even reinforce that on Instagram. And, I think that it's kind of a joke of right now because the mock drafts is, year out. Like the idea, we don't know what teams are going to make the playoffs, let alone be in any of those positions, right? But it's more to say he's projected as a mid-first round pick.
He could walk away from that $51 million player option next offseason and go join forces with Bronny James. He has been very vocal about wanting to play with him, Joe. I know on Instagram the other day there were some comments that he made about let's go to Atlanta. And can you imagine a team that had myself, Bronny, and Trae Young?